With the fossils of imposing dinosaurs, gigantic megalodons, and killer crocs, it's easy to forget that there are still monstrous creatures roaming the land and seas of our planet. But it's a pretty big world out there, and every day new record-breaking discoveries are made to catch our attentions and inspire our imaginations. While we may search far and wide to make new discoveries, sometimes these beasts find us. Here, the Hub has found these shockingly massive creatures that appeared out of nowhere. And while you watch, please click on the subscribe button. The Hub will give you the latest developments catching the attention of the scientific community, so you won't be surprised the next time a massive creature appears in front of you. Super snake. Green anacondas may be the largest snakes around in the serpentine world. On the whole, they're usually 15 feet long, and they hide much of their size when submerged in water, usually as a means to support their own weight. Python sizes come in second. On average, they're 12 to 13 feet long. But the biggest and baddest python ever found was 49 feet long. At nearly 1,000 pounds, this snake made a splash when it was discovered in a small village on Java Island in Indonesia. Kept in the Jakarta Zoo, this python subsisted on up to 4 canines per month, wrapping its long and imposing figure around its prey. It crushes and slowly digests its food with the same cold demeanor you would expect from the mascot of Hogwarts House Slytherin, from the world of Harry Potter. It should be noted that the previous holder of the longest snake on record measured 32 feet long in 1912. This newer serpent surpasses it by a wide margin, and even though it's recently deceased, the largest currently living snake, from Missouri, is only about 25 feet long, shorter than our Indonesian snake by a wide margin. Oarfish. Oarfish are deep-sea dwellers who usually stick to their low-set trenches. These long, snaky creatures can grow up to 35 feet in length and undoubtedly inspired sailors' old tales of sea serpents attacking boats. But while they may look dragon-like on the outside, they prefer eating harmless plankton. Although oarfish may not have much experience interacting with humans from their great watery depths, they're forced to the surface or washed ashore every so often. The conditions needed to send these eel-like creatures upward are currents way stronger than normal. Now, the cause of these currents should be something of a concern, as the appearance of oarfish on the surface usually indicates an undersea earthquake, and tsunami is oftentimes not far behind. An example of this is the sighting of a bony oarfish just before a 6.5 earthquake off the coast of the Philippines. Other sightings preceded major quake events in Japan, Chile, and Haiti, all of which were monumental natural disasters. If any positives can be gleaned from finding an oarfish washed ashore, it's that these creatures may serve as the best early warning detectors for incoming disasters. So if you feel the earth move beneath your feet and you happen to be on a beach, these slithery guys may soon make an appearance. 50-foot whale. Other mysterious creatures have recently washed ashore in Southeast Asia. On a beach off the island of SERAM in Indonesia, local fisherman Azrul Tuanakota first thought he came across a stranded boat. Upon closer inspection, he found it to be an unidentifiable beast with what he believed to be tusks, or maybe they were tentacles. He couldn't tell with 100% certainty because this stranded mass had beached itself in shallow waters in quite an unrecognizable position. It had discolored the surrounding water, and internal gases bloated the creature into near blimp proportions. When the local scientists got word of the discovery, they were able to classify this beast as a baleen whale due to the baleen plate features protruding outward, which are normally used to filter consumed food as part of the digestive process. The nearby island chain is a known migratory path for baleen whales, and this particular creature probably clipped a passing ship, causing it to become infected and swollen. Normally, deceased whales sink to the bottom of the ocean and become year-round sustenance for smaller fish in the surrounding habitat. But when sea mammals like this one are lost, confused, or of ill health, there's a good chance they'll end up caught on a shoreline. Giant coconut crabs. The Japanese spider crab is the world's largest crab, with an average span of 12 feet when measured from claw to claw. But these crustaceans reside underwater. They need to stay underwater to support their size, and so we're not as likely to run into these critters when going about our daily business. The honor of the largest land-based crab goes to the giant coconut crab. With an average length of 3 feet, these spider-like animals can use their sharp pincers to crack open coconuts and hunt rats. Basically, they'll eat whatever they can get their claws on, including available fruits and other smaller crabs. Coconuts are essential to their way of life, as they feast on the fruit and milk within the coconut husks and then use the outer coconut fibers to line their land-based burrows. only returning to the sea to lay their eggs. Although we don't know whether they're in danger, we do know that they're in a constant war with the rat populations of their islands in the Indian Ocean. Teams of rats may work together to take down the coconut crabs, while the wily crustaceans can make easy work out of the small rodents with one snap of their pincer. If they're unable to find food in the wild, they've been known to scrounge through the trash. Liger. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Well, at least the lions and tigers part. We still haven't figured out how to breed a lion-tiger-bear hybrid, but someone in some lab somewhere is probably working on solving that mystery. Until then, we'll just have to appreciate the genius who created the first liger. That's right, there is a lion and tiger hybrid, and it's huge. Hercules, the liger, is particularly of note. He's the world's largest living big cat at 922 pounds, 4 feet tall, and nearly 11 feet long. Ligers can grow to be twice the size of their parents, but they tend to be infertile and can carry a variety of other genetic defects. Although the Novosibirsk Zoo in Russia has boasted the first widely reported liger birth of a liger mother and a lion father. While scientists aren't scrambling to breed more ligers as lions and tigers' genetics don't mix, they're interesting to study as they are. Many appear to have the face of a lion, redder fur, light stripes, and no mane. With these past successes, however, the mixed breed are predisposed to lack a connection. Lions and tigers are separated by several million years of evolutionary development, and they have very different social tendencies. Giant catfish. Back in Southeast Asia, another big fish is making waves. In Thailand's Mekong River, fishermen caught a whopper of a catfish at 9 feet long and 646 pounds. This freshwater fish is the biggest Mekong catfish on record. As big as a North American grizzly bear, this catfish was caught and experimented on by the country's inland fisheries department to see if they could breed future fish of this size, but the project ultimately failed. It's unfortunate considering the Mekong catfish is listed with the World Conservation Union as an endangered species, and in monitoring the migratory habits of these fish, scientists have recently learned that they can travel up to 600 miles from freshwater havens to saltwater coasts for breeding purposes. So it's a good thing that the giant Mekong catfish like this one is built forward tough for the long journey they have in store. While its meditative nature is highly regarded in the local culture around the Mekong River, the meat of the catfish is also believed to bring long life, intelligence, and luck, which may not be great news to all the catfish conservationists out there. Giant bats. In Bateman's Bay, Australia, flying rodents are wreaking havoc on the entire town. Reportedly, a fifth of the continent's giant bats have found a haven in this tourist town, and they don't seem to be leaving anytime soon. And while bats tend to be called flying rodents, you'd be tempted to rephrase that nickname if you set your sights on these blind beasts. The size of large foxes, these creatures have wingspans of around 6 feet and bring with them loud sounds, windy flapping, and a smell that's enough to scare the tourists away. Some locals have even started taking antidepressants to cope with the constant squealing and potentially toxic guano-covered homes and walkways. Additionally, smells come from the pheromones bats spray to cordon off territory and attract mates. On top of that, the acidic nature of the droppings can eat through car paint and many other man-made substances if not cleaned off within a few hours. With recent estimates at 140,000 bats, that comes out to 12 flying foxes for each residence and increases the chance for bat scratch fever, which is our cute way of saying rabies. BLAKISTO'N's fish owl. Like many mysterious animals in today's day and age, they're brought out of their formerly hidden existence due to deforestation and development in their habitat. BLAKISTO'N's fish owl is no exception, and unfortunately this ginormous owl needs proportionally larger trees in order to live life to its fullest. Based out of Russia's eastern half, these owls have a 6-foot wingspan, which helps them gracefully swoop down and scoop beakfuls of salmon from the rivers below. The owls occupy sparsely populated Russian territory, with preferred hunting times happening at night in sub-zero temperatures, so it's hard to catch them in their regular routine. They also prefer the oldest trees, so they can stake their nests within tree openings. Once the old trees wither and fall into the river below, they often impact the flow of the water, usually serving to improve and vary the salmon migrations, helping the owls hunt. With all this information, scientists needed to observe the BLAKISTO'n fish owl in the act, from behind camouflage tents, and they watched the large owls walk along the frozen river shore, looking at the sanctuaries with the highest concentration of their prey. Giant otter. A much friendlier beast than many of the others previously mentioned is the giant otter. With ancestral roots going back millions of years, otters used to be the size of large wolves and weighed about 100 pounds. While no present-day otters can boast that size, today's giant otters can still weigh up to 75 pounds and grow up to 6 feet long from snout to tail. Found in the Amazon, these endangered weasels navigate the jungle's climate with webbed feet, waterproof fur, and rudder-like tails to consume up to 9 pounds of fish per day. While they look like cute little sea dogs, they move in packs and can use their sharp nails and teeth to defend themselves and their families against threatening predators, overpowering large Amazonian crocodiles and other threats. Living in monogamous partnerships, these critters are loyal to their families and grow full size in less than a year, able to populate the den with new protectors on an annual basis. Unlike other animals, these curious mammals will approach humans to investigate whether they mean good or ill. But be careful, because they'll do just about any violent attack trick in the book to protect their family. Lolong, the giant crocodile. Another Guinness World Record was recently attained by Lolong, the giant crocodile. Discovered in the Philippines, this 20-foot-long food chain topper was found after a fully fledged croc hunt to bring down the creature behind several disappearances. Residents of the Filipino Bunawan township were mobilized to find the 2,370-pound creature, and his size did not disappoint. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has determined that saltwater crocs like Lolong are in grave danger of extinction. While Lolong may have attacked villagers and caused property damage, new protections keep it alive and well in captivity. And hey, he can't compare to his distant relative, Sarcosuchus imperator. Originating in Africa 110 million years ago, it was 16,000 pounds and 40 feet long, with a jawbone as big as a full-length adult. Crocodiles were able to grow so large because they were more dependent on navigating fully submerged through bodies of water. With more weight supported by H2O and more oxygen in the atmosphere, early crocodiles were allowed to grow to enormous sizes. It's rarer nowadays, but it's still very possible to find a comparatively large croc that roams around salt water looking for its next big thrills. You never know when more gigantic creatures like these will swoop into your town. But don't worry, the hub will continue looking into the sky, scouring the beaches, and staying alert so you don't have to. So come on back to the hub for all the best science news. See you soon!